everyone, Lights and Gear is back with another flashlight review, and today I have something new from Acebeam. This also happens to be the first Acebeam flashlight that I have had the opportunity to try. This is the UC15, which is a keychain light, and one of the better keychain lights that I have tried out in the last year or so. So I guess that says something. Acebeam does put out some nice products as far as I know, but again, this is the first one that I've had the chance to try. The UC15, a mini keychain light, has 1,000 lumens as its top output. This is if you're using two lithium-ion batteries, 10400. But if you use AAA batteries, you can use two AAAs or NIMH, either disposable or rechargeable, and with that you'll get 250 lumens as the top output. But I'll run over that stuff here in a couple of moments. Beam distance is pretty good at 107 meters, and it's also impact resistant to a meter, and it is waterproof to a degree as well. On the back of the box it does explain the outputs, and it also has two other LEDs as well as the main LED, which of course is white. You get an ultraviolet LED, and you also get a red LED. So there are the two different types which are part of the flashlight, and they all operate independently. 250 lumens is the high if you use two AAA, and 1,000 if you use the lithium ion. And then 200 for a medium, 10 for low, and then it also has Moonlight at 5 lumens. The thing about the ultra high output, or turbo I guess in that case, is it only operates for about 60 seconds, and then it cuts down to the high position after that. Cuts down to high mode after about a minute, and then high mode stays on for about 4 minutes, and then that cuts in half as well. So that's something to keep in mind. Obviously it is a keychain light, so it's not meant to normally be on for long periods of time. So you're using basically a battery which is usually of low capacity, and if it's rechargeable it's going to last a fair amount of time. If you're just using it at quick bursts or short clips, then it's going to be fine. So I'll sort of get into that more here in a minute. Here is the flashlight, as you can see, which is very small, keychain size obviously. Here are your LEDs up in here, the main LED. Here's the red one, and here's the ultraviolet. And the main switch does everything else. Now, among the accessories in the box is actually this pocket clip, which I have already attached, and which I'm quite fond of, because it's nice just to clip it in your pocket as opposed to carrying it on a keychain. And to aid in the installation of this clip, which takes a couple of moments, you'll need this hex screw, which they include in the package as well as the clip. So they are among the accessories, and you have to undo the screws on the back here, and then hold this on, and then get the screws in between the slots here down into the hole, which is actually like a little bit of a game. It kind of takes a couple of minutes to do, but once you've done it I think you'll be glad, because this is ultra tight and it's not going anywhere once it's tightened in. So I think you'll be happy with this pocket clip on here. If you don't want it, if you don't want to use the pocket clip at all, then just don't use it, of course, and just hang it on the keychain, because here is the little end here which would attach to a keychain. So that's your choice. I choose the pocket clip. So the instruction manual is in the package, and there's also a warranty card in here. Now within the instruction manual it does give you all that useful information regarding the LEDs and the runtime, which I kind of explained there a moment ago. The white, the main LED, is an XP-L HD, and the ultraviolet is a Nichia LED, and the red is an XP-E2R2. So that's the way that runs. And then it does give you the runtimes here using both types of batteries, either NIMH or disposable alkaline, and of course the two 10440. which is the recommended battery as far as I'm concerned. That's what I'm using in it, and it is the recommended battery. And to get to the batteries, you untighten or unscrew, loosen, whichever you want to put it, the back here. There's a little part there with the springs on it, and there are the batteries, just like a standard AAA. In this case, I happen to be using these So-Shines, which aren't too bad. They are pretty good as far as lithium-ion batteries go, 350 mAh, so they don't last a heck of a long time, but they do the job. Getting this on actually takes a moment because you have to sort of fit it on here and then press it in at the same time you're twisting it. Otherwise it won't go on quite right, but once you got the hang of it there, it goes on in a pinch. The thing that I was going to mention about the batteries and the highest mode, being turbo, is that it really won't power them for all that long. I have found that as the batteries start to weaken a teeny tiny bit, and I mean even just below 4 volts down to even 3.7, it will not operate on the turbo mode anymore, just because the batteries apparently do not have the voltage to support it. And I just wanted to see here briefly if it actually would operate on turbo, because I'm not quite certain. No, it's not. Okay. I may actually have to go and change these batteries out just to be able to demonstrate the turbo mode for you. So actually I'm going to do that right now. Alright, I have changed out the batteries with a couple that had been more recently charged, and we're good to go once again. And as I was starting to say before, that is one of the downfalls of the light, I suppose, is the fact that the batteries don't have to be used all that long before it stops producing the turbo mode. So anyway, in the operation of the light, all you do is give the button a click and you will get instant light. Now, the schematic diagram that they put in the manual here actually looks a little bit imposing, but if you kind of play around with it for a few moments, you can kind of figure it out. It does explain everything pretty well here as far as what you have to do, and they're actually the two different modes, because there's the regular white mode and there's the colored light mode, and then there's the mode which has the colored LEDs. So both of those are uniquely separate, and they both have their own little operating system, if you will. And there's also instant access to 3 particular modes. There's instant access to Moonlight, Turbo, and Strobe. Strobe you can get anytime by triple clicking, just like that. Doesn't matter where you are, as long as the light is on, a triple click will get you to strobe. And if you press and hold, it'll go back to the mode it was in before. Of course, it has mode memory, so that always works. If you're in strobe and you just give it one quick press, it'll turn right off again. And to get to Moonlight right away is to have the light off, and then you just press and hold, and Moonlight comes on like that. And of course, you get your very low light right there. So that's nice, and that's the same as a lot of flashlights that offer Moonlight mode, that you can only get to it from the off position. And of course, as you can see, Moonlight mode is always great for illuminating something in complete darkness at close range. Now, if I press and hold from Moonlight, I will get to the low mode. So here we are in low. Press and hold again, and of course I'm in medium. Press and hold again, I'm in high. Now if I double click, it'll go into turbo. So there's the turbo mode. And then if I do a quick press from there, it'll turn off. Otherwise, I can turn it back on again, and memory will remember the last mode, but I don't believe it's remembering turbo. It's probably remembering high. So if I double click again, it goes back into turbo. Now pressing and holding from here will simply go back down to the lowest mode. So once the flashlight is on, it won't remember Moonlight anymore. It'll just be cycling through low, medium, and high with every holding press. If I want to get back to Moonlight, I have to turn it off and then press and hold. And again, if I want the brightest mode, then I have to double click. So that's some of that's more or less the basic operation of the light. Now for the colored modes, and I'll show you that here. It's rather quite impressive. For the colored modes, you do have to be in the off position, and then you have to press and hold, wait for Moonlight to come on, and then shut off, and then it automatically produces the red LED. And this is the brightest red LED I think I've ever seen on a flashlight before, even a large flashlight that features the red mode. This is a very nice red beam. And obviously if you hold it up really close to something, it does have a weird formation to it, but holding it back, and I mean, it's just bright. It's brighter, as I say, the brightest red mode I think I've ever seen. And so that's, I don't know when you need red light. Some people have certain needs, whether they're photographers or something like that. Obviously this is a keychain light, you know, but it does offer the red mode, and it's an excellent red mode. So that's all I can say about that. And now if I press and hold from this mode, it'll go over to the ultraviolet. So here's ultraviolet mode. And the other thing, of course, which you're noticing now is whenever the flashlight is on, you get the green indicator light here. So that always shows that your batteries are in good voltage. When the batteries start to wear down, and this is not including when it refuses to produce the turbo mode, this is just in general, when the batteries start to wear thin, this green will turn to red. And then if you leave it on red, it'll start to flash in red, and it'll do that for about 60 seconds, and then the light will shut off completely. So that's that. Now once I'm in this colored mode, if I press the button, it'll just turn off. And then if I press it again, it'll just keep coming back on in the mode it was in before. And if I press and hold, it'll switch back to the other colored mode. So like this, it'll just keep going back between red and ultraviolet, and so forth, even by switching it off and switching it on. The way to get back to the regular white LED from here is to double click, just like that. And then I'm back to the last mode that was being used in the regular sequence before it was turned off. So, in a nutshell, that is the flashlight, and those are the modes. And everything that I just did is more or less, well, it is explained in the schematic diagram here, which I said does look a little bit confusing at first, but once you go through it all, it does start to make sense. So, that's how everything is laid out. It is a nice flashlight, and it was supplied by the folks at Fastech. So you can click the link below within the description, or visit my website at lightsandgear.com, where of course you can see the outdoor photos of this light and see what it does outside. And it's quite impressive outside. And the way to see those pictures is to visit my written review at lightsandgear.com, and the link is below. In that review is also the link to the Fastech page, where they are offering this light in multi-colors, I might add, at a good price. This one comes in black, but they do offer multiple colors. And you can also see that link below in the description here. But it's a nice flashlight. It's great for a keychain or just to put on your pocket. So for that, it's very multi-purpose, and the operation is simple. And the only downfall to it, I would say, is the use of the turbo mode as the batteries start to weaken a little bit. Now, if that doesn't matter to you, then you're home free. And you'll also see the difference in the pictures that I have in my written review when using the AA batteries, or the AAA batteries, I'm sorry. So in that, you will see a picture of the difference of what it looks like in the highest mode when you're on AAA batteries of the disposable or NIMH type, as opposed to lithium batteries. And the difference there is quite stark from the power you'll get with the different types of batteries. So I certainly do recommend using the lithium ion. Anyway, that's it for today. The Acebeam UC15 has been under the microscope. I like it. Hope you will too. If you have any questions or comments, leave those below. Of course, you can visit lightsandgear.com for a lot more, and we'll see you next time. I thank you very much for watching. Take it easy.